Okay guys, so I'm here today in Cobrinha, BJJ South Bay with my student Brian. He just started Jiu-Jitsu here with me about 1 month ago. And today we are going to talk about how works the beginner mindset, okay? And which concerns he had before start. So what most of the people has in their mind before they start Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, let's try to understand and encourage this kind of people to come inside the mat and start to train. Okay, so the first thing I would like to ask to Brian is, why did you start Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, I wanted to get in shape, and I have a challenge course coming up in April, and I really didn't want to do all the running. So I was looking for other options where I could get in physical shape that would be fun. And I knew that I wouldn't do it unless it was close. So I was lucky enough to find Eduardo just right around the corner from where I work. And so having something that's close and easy to do, but can get you to do more than just cardio. It engages more of the mind. It engages the whole body. I just got really excited when I learned about Jiu-Jitsu, and I thought this would be a better way for me to get in shape.
Nice, great. And were you nervous about anything before you start here, Brian?
I was really nervous about getting injured because I'm not as young as I used to be. I'm well over 40, and I didn't want to get injured. And I know that this is a sport that has a level of aggression to it. And what I realized after interviewing you and seeing the class is that there are so many protections put in place. You know, we learn how to fall. We learn how to watch out for each other. We go slowly in class so that you avoid injuries. But more importantly is we warm up the body beforehand. So we get loose. And I think that the one thing I wanted to get injured was my poor way of thinking. And I wasn't thinking about Jiu-Jitsu right. You know, I was thinking about it as, this is a martial art. I didn't realize it was also a meditation where I could learn something every day about my body, about how to interact with another person, and how to get better. And I think that's something we all want.
Yeah, and also I think a lot of people think they come here to start to train Jiu-Jitsu and they have to start to fight, sparring right away, and it's not like that, you know? So we come here, first of all, we have to learn many techniques. We have to learn the concepts, some movement like educational movements. So it's not just come here and start fight. Before you start to spar, you have a long path. And when you start, we start with someone more like experienced than you that can help you. So when I spar with my white belts here, I go easily. So I give time to them to react to the movements, and I don't put him in some position that they can hurt. No, we take care of each other here the whole time. One example that I like to do, since I teach like in 1998 to my students, is if I'm gonna play tennis with Federer, if he goes hard with me, I cannot even see the ball. So he has to play with me, the one that he can have fun and I can have fun as well. So he helped me to play. So this is good for both. But if he just wants to kill me in the court, I cannot see even the color of the ball. So here's the same thing. The higher levels has to help the lower belts, so both of them can have fun and help each other. This is the best thing that I always use to this kind of example.
Doesn't it help them with the technique? Because I need to learn the techniques, and to practice technique, it just gets everyone better and better. Isn't that right?
Yes, and a big difference between a white belt and the higher belts is the timing. So sometimes they know exactly the same position, and when they drill, they can do perfect, both of them. But when they start to sparring, the difference is the higher belt, they can see the position way earlier than the beginners. So we need to give time to the beginners to realize what's going on. And was it worth starting, Brian?
Absolutely. There's something that I learned, is that I think our bodies have an innate wisdom, and I've learned what it is to move again. I've never been challenged in this way before, and I find that that interaction between another person has brought something out of me that I didn't know I have. I would just encourage anyone to come to a couple classes and see if something opens up inside of them. It's almost as if I know a move is right because it kind of feels like water flowing.
Yes.
And to be aware of this was just a huge gift for me, because for as long as the class is, I'm only thinking about one thing, and that's jiu-jitsu. I left all the worries of the world behind, and for this moment, I'm right here focusing on how can I get a little bit better? How can I learn this? How can I just be in the moment and move in the way that's appropriate for this situation?
Yeah, this is one thing that I always talk about, because sometimes I have many problems, and when I go to the class and I start to train, I have to keep focused in my class. I cannot keep thinking about another things, otherwise I cannot do the whole things that we have to do here inside the mat. So, and when I leave the mat and said, what's my problem? I forgot about my problems. So this is very nice, because here we work a lot, not just our body, but our mind. We have to keep focused, even if we are higher belts. Otherwise, we cannot follow the direction, the movements. Right. So we have to keep really focused here, and you forget about everything. So I think, for me, sometimes it's better than for my mind than for my body. And what questions do you think other beginners may have?
How not to get hurt would be one. Maybe just what are these things? You know, like basic vocabulary, and how can I get started?
Yeah.
So maybe those three.
Yeah. So it's a really important thing. You search about who is your professor, his background, who is the team, what's the team. You have to see, because you should start in a nice place, a really friendly environment, and it's really important. And one place that take care about the students. It's not just a business for me. Here is not a business. Here is my second family, always. So I like to take care about my students, not just about inside the mat, but outside the mat. If everything, they are happy, if everything is good with them. Because most of my friends, my best friends, are from Jiu-Jitsu as well. So for me, the gym is not just a business, but a really friendly environment. And I think the professor and the relationship between the professor and the students is one thing very particular about Jiu-Jitsu, but because it's very different than another sports. I feel that it's the only sport that I feel this relationship is really strong, really close. And even in the real beginners, for example, you just started here about 1 month ago, and our relationship is very good, even you starting like a few weeks or 2 months ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I think that it's okay not to know. I think that, you know, when I came in, I was worried what people might think or this or that. But I think the beginner's mindset is about being open to learn and being okay that you don't know. Every time I said, hey, I don't know this, or I want to learn this, being in jiu-jitsu, you're around people that care about you and they want you to know. They show me moves, they show me how not to get hurt, how to hold my elbows in, or you know, how not to do dumb things. And it's kind of like, I want to have this 2 levels of feeling. I want to feel like a champion, because that's just really how I want to feel. It's a little bit about ego. But I also want to feel like I don't know anything, and there's so much for me to learn. And I think that's the more important thing. So if you want to learn about life, if you want to learn about people, if you want to learn about your body, come to Jiu-Jitsu, experience this, and it will open you up to just, for me, it was a beautiful moment.
yeah, and Jiu-Jitsu, you know, for example, you are now just a beginner, and you are hungry to learn.
Yes.
So this is, I think, the people need to have the whole path in Jiu-Jitsu. Because, for example, I trained for 25 years, and I'm really hungry to keep learning. So I keep learning every single day. Sometimes I'm Saturdays, on Sundays in my house, and I keep keep studying jiu-jitsu for 2 and 3 hours, and my wife got crazy. And I stopped to talk about jiu-jitsu now, and to watch many videos the whole time, just watch many videos the whole day, every day, blah, blah. And, you know, it's hard for me. Every single minute that I have, I try to learn anything new. And I think this wish to learn new things, we need to keep the whole life. Doesn't matter if you train 1 month, 1 year, or 40 years. And we need to keep improve, update our techniques. Otherwise, if I stop to update my techniques, in about 2-3 years, I am 1 step behind of everyone. So I need to keep, I don't need to compete hard anymore. For example, I can, but I don't need, but I think we need to keep updating our techniques, keep learning, and has this big wish to keep learning. I think every jiu-jitsu fighter has to be inside.
Yeah.
And about the vocabulary here, do you have anything, any questions when you start?
I think that, you know, gi, belt, you know,
Yeah,
what a submission is,
yeah, no, submission, sweep.
you have all the equipment. We can teach you all. You know, I mean, you can learn all the words of how to say things. Just ask questions. I think that's the way to learn the vocabulary, is learn a new word every day.
Yeah, and don't be shy.
Right.
I always tell my partner, my students, don't be shy. Don't be shy, because if you don't want to ask because some things you think is a dumb question, no, never. There is no dumb question. Always keep asking. I think it's the best way to learn.
Right.
And so we learn here, when we start here, we learn the real beginner, we learn the self-defense techniques, so makes more sense when the people just start self-defense, and from the self-defense we go to the ground, we clinch, take down, go to the ground, and we have thousands of techniques in the ground. So we start with self-defense, but then at the same time we work the techniques in the ground. But I think for the first classes makes more sense for beginners. Like I teach one self-defense, then I switch one sweep, because in the beginner's mind, like first, second class, sweep, what is that? But if I show the beginners, how to defend one slap, one punch, one kick, and after that we clinch, take down, go to the ground, I ended up on bottle, now I'm on bottle, what can I do? You can submit, you can sweep, makes more sense. So I think little by little, the things start to makes more sense for the beginners.
Yes.
And the sparring is the same thing. We take time to start to sparring, and when we start, it's little by little. It's gradual. It's not right away. So little by little, everything starts to make more sense. It's not one thing that we start here and suddenly, boom, start to sparring, start to go hard. No, it's take time. And this is important to learn. I cannot start to teach you German and after 1 month say, okay, now I have to talk in German. You are learning the basic words,
Right.
So jiu-jitsu is the same thing, little by little.
Absolutely.
And do you have any more questions, any more concerns?
I think that's it. I just want to keep learning more.
Nice, great. Very nice to have you here.
Thank you.
I hope you keep
Keep coming back.
Keep enjoying the classes.
I will.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you.